Men over 60, fellas, listen up for a second. Because if you're waking up 2, 3, even 4 times a night to pee, if that weak stream is getting weaker, or if you feel that pressure down there getting worse every year, there's something you need to hear. What you're experiencing isn't just annoying, it's not just aging, and it's not something you should ignore. Because for men in their 60s and beyond, an enlarging prostate can quietly snowball into bigger problems that steal your sleep, your confidence, your energy, and in some cases, even your independence. But here's the part most guys never get told. There are 3 simple daily habits that can actually help shrink your prostate naturally. Yes, shrink it. No pills, no gimmicks, and no waiting months to feel a difference. And once you understand why these habits work, you'll realize you've had way more control over your prostate health than anyone ever explained to you. Bow. Stick with me, because the 3rd habit is the one almost every man over 60 gets wrong, yet it can make the biggest difference in how often you pee, how strong your flow feels, and how comfortable you are throughout the day. So if you're tired of running to the bathroom, tired of feeling older than you are, or just want to get ahead of this before it gets worse, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get into it. Fellas, let me ease your mind for a moment, because everything you're dealing with right now, the urgency, the nighttime trips, the slow stream, that annoying fullness feeling, it is fixable. And not in a year, not in 6 months. Many men start feeling relief in as little as 7 to 14 days once they make a few targeted changes. Your prostate isn't broken, your body isn't giving up, and you're not stuck with this. Most men over 60 are walking around thinking this is just their new normal, when in reality, the prostate is incredibly responsive once you address the inflammation, the tension, and the circulation issues that have quietly built up over time. And the best part? The solution is so much simpler than you've been led to believe. It doesn't require complicated routines, extreme diets, or anything embarrassing. Just a few consistent daily habits that support your body in doing what it's already designed to do. So take a breath. There's real hope here. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what's been happening inside your body and what you can start doing today to finally get your comfort, your confidence, and your rhythm back. So if you've ever felt dismissed, or told that's just what happens at your age, or you've struggled to find real answers that don't involve piling on medications, you're in the right place. I'm here to give you straight talk, real science, and tools that actually support the way your body works. All right, if you're new here, hi, I'm Dr. Rachel Rubin. I'm a urologist who has spent my entire career helping men stay strong, vibrant, confident, and fully functional well into their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. I work with guys every single day who are dealing with the same frustrations you are: prostate issues, urinary problems, changes in performance, changes in energy, and I want you to know, nothing you're experiencing is unusual, and nothing you're experiencing is something to be embarrassed about. My job is simple: to help men understand their bodies, take back control of their health, and feel like themselves again. And I do it using evidence-based strategies that actually make sense in real life. Not complicated medical talk, not fear tactics, just clear information and realistic solutions. You're not alone, you're not past your prime, and you're absolutely not out of options. Let's dig into what's really going on. Here's the part nobody really explains to men, and it's the real enemy behind most prostate problems after 50 or 60. It's chronic inflammation, the slow, silent, day-by-day swelling and irritation inside the prostate that squeezes the urethra like a clogged, kinked garden hose. Most guys think the prostate just gets bigger with age, but that's not the whole story. The prostate doesn't just grow, it gets irritated, it gets tight, and it gets inflamed, and that combination is what wrecks your flow, your comfort, and your sleep. And this inflammation doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in. It builds quietly over years, like a fuel line that slowly gums up, or an engine filter that clogs until the whole system is straining. Here's the bigger twist. The prostate is surrounded by muscles, pelvic floor muscles. When the prostate is irritated, those muscles tighten up subconsciously, almost like your body is bracing for impact. And the tighter those muscles get, the more pressure they put on your urinary tract. Suddenly you're dealing with urgency, dribbling, weak flow, and that feeling like you never fully emptied. And inflammation can come from all kinds of everyday things. Too much sitting, poor circulation, high-stress days that never end, carrying extra belly fat, not drinking enough water, diet choices that irritate the prostate, even nighttime habits you don't think twice about. But the biggest reason men don't see this coming? Because it feels gradual. One day you're fine, a year later you're waking up 3 times a night, and 5 years later you're planning car trips around bathroom stops. Another hidden enemy is declining nitric oxide, your body's natural blood flow chemical that keeps tissues relaxed, flexible, and healthy. As men age, nitric oxide levels drop, and when they drop low enough, the prostate and the muscles around it get stiffer, tighter, and more inflamed. And we can't forget low-grade metabolic stress. When your blood sugar isn't stable, or your weight creeps up, or you're eating late at night, that internal stress fuels even more inflammation. So what feels like just a big prostate is really a mix of inflammation-tight muscles, poor circulation, low nitric oxide, quiet metabolic stress. A perfect storm that slowly narrows the pathway your urine needs to get through. But here's the good news. Once you address these root causes, the prostate responds quickly. It wants to be healthy. Your urinary system wants to function the way it did years ago. Let's break this down in a simple, no-nonsense way so you actually understand what's happening inside your body. Because once you see the mechanics, everything else makes sense. Your prostate is a small gland that sits right under your bladder, and your urethra, the tube that carries urine out, runs straight through the middle of it. Think of it like a donut with a straw running through the center. When the prostate is calm, healthy, and flexible, that straw stays open. When the prostate gets inflamed or swollen, the donut squeezes the straw, and suddenly it's harder for urine to pass through. Here's where most men get confused. It's not just size. A large prostate isn't necessarily the problem. An angry prostate is. Inside the prostate, there are cells and tiny blood vessels that react to stress, poor circulation, and hormonal shifts. As you age, these tissues get more sensitive. They produce inflammatory chemicals, almost like your body's "I'm irritated" signal. And when those chemicals rise, the prostate tightens and swells internally. Now add this layer. Your pelvic floor muscles sit right under the prostate like a hammock. If the prostate is inflamed, those muscles clench. If they stay tight long enough, they start contributing to the problem, putting even more pressure on that straw-like urethra. So you have 2 things squeezing the same tube: the gland itself and the muscles beneath it. No wonder the urine flow slows down. Let's talk blood flow, because it's the secret sauce most guys overlook. Healthy prostate tissue needs steady, oxygen-rich blood to stay flexible. But as men get older, especially after 50 or 60, circulation to the pelvis drops. Sitting too much, carrying extra weight, not getting enough movement, all of this reduces blood flow. Low blood flow means the tissue becomes stiff, irritated, and more prone to swelling. Combine that with declining nitric oxide, which is your body's natural relax and open up molecule. Nitric oxide keeps blood vessels flexible and allows smooth muscle tissue to stay soft rather than rigid. When no levels drop, which they do gradually every decade, you lose that natural relaxation effect. Everything becomes tighter, more constricted, more reactive. Another piece of the biology? Hormonal balance, not testosterone. Believe it or not, testosterone isn't the enemy here. What causes trouble is metabolic stress, which increases inflammation and changes how your body uses hormones. Too much belly fat, not enough sleep, high stress levels. These trigger a cascade of chemical signals that irritate the prostate from the inside. And finally, nerve sensitivity. Over time, inflammation can irritate the nerves that control the bladder and prostate. This makes you feel urgency, even when the bladder isn't full. It's like the check engine light getting stuck on. So here's the big picture, all connected. Inflammation makes the prostate swell. Low nitric oxide makes tissues stiff. Poor circulation slows healing. Tight pelvic muscles add extra pressure. Metabolic stress keeps everything irritated. Nerves become hypersensitive, so you feel urgency constantly. That's why you pee more often, why the stream weakens, why you feel like you never empty, and why the nighttime trips happen. But here's the empowering part. Every single one of these systems, blood flow, nitric oxide, inflammation, muscle tension, nerve sensitivity, is changeable. Your prostate can calm down, your circulation can improve, your pelvic floor can relax, your inflammation can go down, your nerves can reset, and the body responds to the right habits shockingly fast. That's why so many men see real improvement in a matter of days, not months. All right, fellas, here's where everything comes together. Because the primary fix for shrinking an inflamed prostate naturally is something almost no one talks about, yet it directly targets every root cause we just covered. The fix is this: a daily circulation activation routine that combines light pelvic movement, deep diaphragmatic breathing, and timing your hydration the right way. It sounds simple, because it is. But don't let that fool you. This one habit addresses inflammation, muscle tension, nitric oxide, and blood flow all at once. Let me break it down so you know exactly what to do and why it works. 1. Deep diaphragmatic breathing. Why it works. Your diaphragm and your pelvic floor are directly connected. When you breathe deeply into your belly, your pelvic floor relaxes naturally. And when your pelvic floor relaxes, the pressure on the prostate and urethra drops. Most men with prostate symptoms breathe high and shallow. That keeps the pelvic floor tight, like it's constantly bracing. Deep breathing breaks that cycle. How to do it. Sit or stand tall. Put one hand on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Let the belly expand, not the chest. Exhale for 6 seconds. Do this for 10 slow breaths. When to do it, morning and evening. 2 minutes, that's it. What to expect. Better flow, less urgency, and a calmer pelvic floor within a few days. 2. The pelvic circulation move, why it works. Your prostate sits in one of the lowest and tightest circulation areas in the body. When you move your hips gently, you pump fresh blood into those tissues, bringing oxygen, lowering inflammation, and increasing nitric oxide naturally. Think of it like unclogging that garden hose. Better blood flow, less swelling, plus better function. How to do it? Stand with feet shoulder width apart. Gently rotate your hips in a slow circle, like you're drawing a hula hoop. Do 10 circles each direction. Then, do 10 slow pelvic tilts. Tuck your pelvis forward, then tilt it back. Nice and easy. When to do it? Once a day, preferably after sitting for long periods. What to expect? Improved flow, less pelvic tension, and fewer nighttime trips as circulation improves. 3. Hydration timing. Why it works. Most men drink all their water in the afternoon or evening, right when the prostate and bladder are most sensitive. This timing overloads the system and guarantees nighttime trips. But when you shift your hydration earlier in the day, the bladder empties more efficiently, inflammation drops, and pressure on the prostate decreases. How to do it. Drink most of your water before 2 p.m. After 5 p.m., sip, don't chug. Stop drinking 2 hours before bed. What to avoid. No chugging water at night, no evening iced teas or sodas. Limit alcohol within 3 hours of bedtime. What to expect. Dramatically fewer nighttime wake-ups, usually within the first week. Why this works so well. This simple daily routine does 4 things. Reduces inflammation, increases nitric oxide naturally, relaxes the pelvic floor, improves blood flow directly to the prostate, and when you target all 4 at once, the prostate finally gets a break. It deflates, it calms down, the pressure eases. Most men tell me their flow feels stronger and the urgency drops in under 10 days. That's why this is the primary fix. It's low effort, it's natural, it's safe, and it directly counteracts the exact forces that enlarge and irritate the prostate. Bonus. Tip number 1, the 10-minute anti-inflammation walk, fellas. This one is ridiculously simple. Right after your biggest meal, lunch or dinner, take a slow, easy 10-minute walk. Why it works. It lowers insulin spikes. It reduces metabolic stress. It improves pelvic circulation. It prevents that post-meal inflammation wave that hits the prostate. You don't need to power walk. This isn't about burning calories. It's about helping your body process food without triggering inflammation that tightens the prostate and bladder. Most men tell me this one habit alone cuts down their urgency dramatically. Bonus. Tip number 2, magnesium glycinate. Before bed. This is one of the most underrated prostate helpers out there. Why it works. Magnesium relaxes smooth muscle, meaning the muscles around the bladder, prostate, and pelvic floor can finally let go. It also calms your nervous system so that false alarm urgency signal quiets down. What to do? Take 200-400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate in the evening. What to expect? Fewer nighttime trips, deeper, more restorative sleep, less pelvic tension, a more relaxed urinary system by morning. If you tend to tighten your body when stressed, magnesium is a game changer. Bonus tip number 3, add a nitrate-rich food. Every day, remember that nitric oxide decline I mentioned? You can fix that naturally with foods that boost NO levels. Great options. Beets or beet powder, arugula, spinach, pomegranate, citrus. Why it works. These foods act like blood flow boosters. They relax the tissues around the prostate and improve vascular flexibility so everything functions more smoothly. What to expect? Stronger stream, less urgency, better circulation to the pelvis. Bonus. Tip number 4, the evening detention check. Men hold an incredible amount of tension in their pelvic floor without realizing it. You can reset that pattern quickly. Here's how. Before bed, sit or lie down comfortably and ask your body one question. Am I clenching? Then consciously relax your belly, your jaw, your glutes, and your pelvic area. Why it works. When your brain quiets down and your muscles release, your prostate gets relief too. And when you go to sleep relaxed, you're far less likely to wake up with urgency signals firing. What to expect. Fewer nighttime interruptions, better morning flow, a calmer nervous system. Why this stack supercharges results. Each of these tips hits a different root cause. Walks lower inflammation. Magnesium improves muscle relaxation and sleep. Nitrate-rich foods boost nitric oxide. Evening detention resets nerve sensitivity. Layer them onto your daily routine, and you're giving your prostate exactly what it needs to shrink, calm down, and function the way it was designed to. If you start implementing even 1 or 2 of these, you're going to feel the difference. And if you do all of them, your prostate will thank you quickly. Let's bring this back to why you're here in the first place, because fellas, ignoring prostate issues is one of the biggest mistakes men over 60 make. Not because you're careless, not at all, but because you've been told this is just aging. But think about what this really costs you. Those nighttime wake-ups, they steal your sleep, and poor sleep wrecks your energy, your mood, your metabolism, your testosterone, everything. That constant urgency, it chips away at your confidence. You start planning your day around bathrooms instead of living your life. That weak stream or slow emptying, it's your body telling you, hey, something's off down here. And here's the part that hits hardest. If you don't calm the inflammation and pressure now, it doesn't magically get better later. The muscles get tighter, the nerves get more sensitive, the swelling gets more stubborn, and the cycle becomes harder to break. This is not about scaring you. This is about showing you how much control you actually have, because the enemy we talked about earlier, the inflammation, the poor circulation, the tension, none of that is permanent. Your prostate is reacting to your environment, your habits, your stress levels, your circulation, which means it can respond just as quickly when you start making the right daily changes. And those simple habits we walked through, the breathing, the pelvic circulation moves, the hydration timing, plus the stack, those aren't nice extras. They are the exact counterattack your body needs to reverse what's happening. Every day you do nothing, the invisible pressure keeps building. Every day you take even a small action, that pressure drops. So don't downplay what you're feeling. Don't shrug it off as getting older. You deserve comfort. You deserve uninterrupted sleep. You deserve strong flow and confidence and peace of mind. Now let me paint a picture for you, because this is what life can look like when your prostate calms down and your body finally gets the support it's been needing. Imagine waking up in the morning feeling rested, Not groggy, not frustrated, not dragging yourself out of bed after 3 nighttime bathroom trips. I'm talking real sleep, the kind you haven't had in years. Your bladder feels calm, your body feels settled, and the first trip to the bathroom in the morning? Smooth, confident, no strain, no hesitation, no pressure. You start your day with energy, not the dip, not the fatigue, not that heavy, sluggish feeling you've gotten used to. That mental fog you thought was just getting older, gone, replaced with a clarity and steadiness you haven't felt since your 40s. Your mood shifts too. When the prostate isn't irritating your nerves, waking you up, or distracting you every hour, you feel more patient, more grounded, more yourself. And fellas, let's talk about confidence. When your pelvic floor relaxes and your circulation improves, everything down there starts working better. Stronger mornings, better performance, more control, less worry. You're not checking where the nearest bathroom is. You're focused on living your life. You go out for dinner without stressing about the restroom. You take a road trip without mapping out every exit. You sit through a movie, a grandkids' school event, a flight, comfortably. Your world gets bigger again because the bathroom stops controlling your decisions. And your relationships benefit too. When you're sleeping well, feeling better, and your body is functioning the way it should, you show up differently, with more warmth, more energy, more connection. You're present, you're engaged, you feel like you again. That's what shrinking inflammation, opening circulation, and relaxing the pelvic floor can give you. Not just fewer symptoms, but a full reset on how you move, think, feel, and show up in your life. This isn't about turning back the clock. It's about getting you back, your rhythm, your comfort, your power, your confidence, and that's fully within reach. These small daily habits aren't just health tips. They're the difference between living restricted and living fully, and you deserve the second option. Always. Fellas, if this resonated with you, even a little, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment and tell me what part hit home or what symptoms you've been dealing with. You'd be amazed how many men are going through the exact same thing, and your story might be the one that helps someone else finally take action. If you've already tried any of these habits, share your experience. Let's build a place where men can talk about this stuff openly, without embarrassment or judgment. That's why I make these videos, to give you the clarity and confidence you should have had years ago. And if you want more tools to boost your energy, your performance, and your overall vitality, make sure to check out the other videos on this channel. I've got plenty more coming. Simple, science-backed strategies to help you stay strong, capable, and confident at every age. Thanks for being here with me today. Take care of yourselves, stick with these habits, and I'll see you in the next one.